You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Ay, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Ay, you know I'm a beast.
Can I run up the score, run up the board, breaking the mold? Ay, ay, walking the door. You know what happened? We step on the floor. Ay, ay, coming from on. You don't want partners, you already know it. Ay, ay, come on, my to it. You already know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is American Arena League, the fifth quarter, episode 2. This is your boy, Cool McCain, your host. You'll see me most weeks, if not every week. So, if you like the face, cool. If not, you just got to bear with it. It is what it is. But guys, we are a little more interesting episode today. One of the gentlemen we're going to be talking to here is your director of officials for AL and AL2. So, yeah, Jeff's going to be stepping in and riding the ship, so to speak, with officiating, because I think we can agree that in most leagues, officiating is not very good. So getting somebody in that can kind of, help that process and keep things correct and consistent with what the actual rules are, it's going to be important. And, just going to be out front on that process. So what I'd like to do is have our esteemed guests introduce themselves, tell you guys a little bit about themselves, because who knows them better than them? So, Jeff, floor is yours, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name's Jeff Loeffler. 2 years ago, I had contacted AJ when Wheeling got a team and joined the AAL2, and we put together a crew and officiated in the AAL2 2 years ago. This past season, we moved up with Wheeling to the NAL, and then now we're back to the AAL. And yeah, what we're looking at is, and what I've learned, especially, last year, is some inconsistencies of enforcing rules versus mechanics to put you in the right position to make calls, even though there's not a whole lot of room when you got everybody flying around. You have to make sure that your safety is up there as well as an official inside the fences. But I'm definitely honored and humbled over the fact getting contacted and asked if I wanted to do this. And I definitely, accepted. We have a crew set, for Wheeling. And for what I understand, some areas will have some new officials joining in either the AAL or the AAL2 in certain locations. So it'd be definitely good to dig into this after the first of the year, and hopefully some newer crews in different areas come aboard give us, some good time to interact and see where they're going to go from there, and make sure that everything's on the same page,
Yep.
with both leagues having the same rules. That'll be easy to have pretty much tie in with the same mechanics and rules in both leagues.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So, as far as the process of bringing in crews and everything, I know you're just kind of getting into things yourself, but how I guess the word I'm trying to think of here is how much of that are you gonna how much of a part of that are you gonna be in the beginning? Is gonna kind of be more like we have some crews, we've got some people in, so we're gonna grow with those guys and see how things go, or is it more so kind of you're walking in and saying, hey, I mean we can keep people, that's fine, but we just need to make sure everybody's on the same page, got the same understanding, knows the playbooks, and ready for when the season gets started.
Yeah, anybody that in the areas of some of the teams get new crews involved, it'll be a good idea that at some point, as early as possible, on getting those crews, that everybody kind of gets together, and I get to speak, maybe hopefully have a couple of Zoom calls with a crew chief / referee, or whoever on the crew is actually the crew chief of each crew, to kind of get that ground paved, so to speak, and see where everybody's at with their experience, whether they've done some college, if they've done any indoor before. That's probably what we're looking at, is kind of both, and some of anybody that would have a crew that's returning.
Yeah.
It'll make it that much easier, because if we just talk about any rule changes or anything that gets changed going into the 2026 season, that just makes it much easier. But we'll tie everybody in together.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So like I was saying earlier, I know I mean we talk about every league. Always a lot of inconsistencies, and I think obviously crews sometimes don't take it as serious as they can. Hence, obviously, why it makes sense to have you here, so you can kind of help regulate that process and just ensure that everyone is using the rules the same and interpreting the same. And because I think a big thing is, I know a big thing is whenever you play, you want to make sure if you're a coach, you're a player, you're an announcer, anything to do with the teams or whatever, that you understand what's happening, and that there's someone to reach out to and say, hey, Jeff, we were playing, and I just don't think that rule was enforced right, man. Could you check that out? And having that person, having someone, and not necessarily that they'll change the game, the outcome of the game or anything, but at least it kind of helps try to fix some of those issues that do come up, because they're all individuals. So everybody normally comes into these things. My dad was a basketball coach. A basketball referee, like since I was 7 years old, up until he couldn't do it anymore. So many years of my life was spent hearing him talk about it, going to trainings with him and all that. So I kind of understand a little bit more than maybe the average person. But you have those guys that are just individuals. So you have them there. You bring everybody together, and you're kind of training everybody. When you see this is what we want you to see. And obviously, everybody's not going to see it exactly the same from the beginning, but those situations come up. I'm sure you'll be prepared to handle them. It's the long way around of asking the question, I guess. Well, definitely the long way around of asking the question of, so far, are there any things that you guys have put into place? Like, if there's a questionable play, it being reviewed and, different things like that? Any of those things you guys have kind of worked on or at least thought about putting in place yet? We still got time, but just, maybe beginning conversations on some of those things.
Well, I know that what we'll probably more than likely do is revise on some things that in respect of replay, categorize certain things that coaches can challenge and the officials can actually look at. You got to narrow it down some bit.
Right.
You don't want to nitpick at things, and you really don't. It's really hard when you have to. Something gets challenged, and now you're putting a foul on.
Right. Yeah.
You kind of would want the foul already there. Now I get that there, with indoor, there are some rules that you probably could and need to have those in there. But I can tell you, like, to ask to replay whether it was a false start or offsides, you can't frame by frame those.
Right.
You have to play that live, and
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't stick out, I don't know how much those two in itself, unless it's clearly obvious, and hopefully we got a flag on the ground if it is truly that obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, still early in the process, still, figuring out everyone and all that. But, like I said, it's exciting to know that there's going to be a director, someone that's going to kind of be in charge of that process. So that way, if there are, complaints, there's always going to be complaints, right? Somebody's always going to be unhappy with something. But there's somebody to go to and say, hey, this is why this is this way. We agree with what you're saying. We think that was called wrong, or no, that was called correctly. Here's why, by the rules, and having that, I think, is going to just help the league to, grow, because now it's not going to be something that's going to be on, league ownership, to kind of be like, okay, well, we have to kind of step in this. Now we've got somebody in place. Say, this is who you talk to if it's about officiating. Calling me means nothing. You talk to Jeff. So,
Yeah, right.
Definitely, welcome to the leagues, man, and it's going to be exciting to have you. Like I said, I know you're digging in everything. I know it's a lot, just understanding all the rules and getting everything together, all the nuances. But the good thing is, it's the same for AL and AL2, so there's not that discrepancy. It's kind of just one tray of things to learn. We learn that, we're good to go. So,
yes,
you'll definitely be a much needed resource for the league for sure. I'm glad that you'll be here, and we'll definitely be talking to you more as we get closer to the season. If there's anything happening, changes, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you once we kind of get nailed down what's going to be replayable, what's not. All those things, just so the fans watching can understand. Okay, this is why this is. This is why this isn't. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be a fun year for AL and AL2 for sure.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate your time, Jeff. Great to meet you. And if you would let the people know where they can find you on social media.
Okay. So I do have a Facebook. It's JT Loeffler. So I am on Facebook. You can also reach me. I don't really have any other socials. I really don't have that. I do have an Instagram, but I don't really, and not on that very much.
Yes, that was me.
with officiating and my work, I'm gone a lot. But I will supply an email address. I'll give you my cell phone number so you can either text or call.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. So, good people, Jeff Loeffler, your director of officiating for AAL and AAL2. So he'll be the one that you'll be upset about when you don't hear the calls, but you'll love when you're the team that gets the calls. Thanks for your time, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
So we are talking with the coaches here. It's a little round table. We got Coach Daniels in the building. We got Coach Strong. And we got Coach Roque. So we got 3 of our 4 teams represented here. You know this, gentlemen, if you've been watching. But just in case, we might have some new people, right? Because, you know, we believe we're growing. So, gentlemen, we'll start with Coach Daniels, Coach Roque. If you guys just go around, let everybody know who you are, a little bit about you, your coaching journey, how you got to where you're at.
I'll pop it off, man. Coach Daniels here, head coach of Columbus Lions, going into my 3rd year as a head coach. I played pretty much my whole career in Columbus, starting in 2006. Played with the Chattahoochee Valley Vipers, and then 2007, the Lions came in and took over. I played a couple years down in Albany, Georgia, but primarily my main career has been in Columbus. I retired in 2016 and been coaching ever since.
Fair enough.
AJ Roque, played 4 years, started the AF2, then the real AIFA, as I always say, the Florida Stingrays, then the Erie Storm, and Harrisburg Stampede, and then finished up with the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks in 2011 in the IFL. Started the Bearcats 2019 and just continuing to grow every year. So give guys opportunities. That's it.
And that's a big thing. So we do also have Coach Strong. Coach Strong is the head coach of the Mississippi Wolfpack. You know, he's him and me a little bit, you know, got some throat issues and stuff going on. So I'll try to make sure that I give Coach Strong some yes or no questions. So make it a little easier on him. I get it. So, gentlemen, this question is for all 3 of you gentlemen. Has there been any players that you guys have been able to sign or bring in that you think are going to be integral to your team this upcoming season?
I'll start off. For us, bring back quarterback and really returning all your O-line and a few of D linemen. We'll have our next tryout on January 10th to round out, you know, that front. And then, you know, for us, that's really where, you know, I mean, and for anybody, right? That's where you're going to win at, and that's where you want to, you know, you want to make sure you build first, right up front in that quarterback position. So that's pretty much what we're focused on.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, I signed a few veteran D linemen, you know, that I'm excited about. And but we also have another tryout January 17th to kind of round out that roster going into training camp. So, you know, just looking forward to who all comes out and competes for a spot, and looking forward to the season.
Yeah, I tell you, the relaunch of AAL, American Arena League, is going to be exciting. You know, I've said this, you know, to both of you gentlemen when y'all were on before. I love the fact that you get a chance to play some AAL2 teams too, just to kind of see, you know, what talent they have, you know, what's going on there. Because obviously the whole goal here is to get guys showcased, and if a better opportunities come available, hey, we want the guys to take those opportunities. Right. But at the same time, you want to stay competitive, and, you know, everybody wants to win. Because if you're not trying to win, why are you here?
That's correct.
Yeah, so from you gentlemen's perspective, how are you able to kind of balance that, you know, between looking for guys, you know, from development leagues, as well as, your own roster. And then, guys may be saying, hey, this opportunity is there. I'm going to take this out. How do you guys kind of handle that as, coaches?
Well, we've always kind of played an exhibition game, with some kind of lower league type of team. And like I was just mentioning, one of my D linemen, we played Peach State a couple years ago, in the exhibition game. And, it was one guy that stood out to us. And, no matter how bad we beat them, he made plays all night long. So, kind of going back, watching the film and, like, who is this guy, and he's played. This will be his second year actually playing on our team. So, like I say, it's always good to get those guys opportunity, and the cream of the crop is always going to rise. So it's a great thing that we giving these AL2 guys opportunity, and I'm sure it's going to happen again this year. When we play those teams, somebody's going to make a bunch of plays, and somebody's going to stand out, and that's how those guys get their opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. There's always going to be that guy that understands that this is his opportunity, and he's going to give everything he's got to not waste this opportunity playing against certain teams. So usually those are the ones that end up getting the shots that are standing out.
It definitely makes sense. So guys, as we move into, obviously still some time before the season, but as we start to get close, I know you guys are working on building rosters. How are we feeling about coaching staffs? How are we feeling about our coaching staffs?
Yeah, so our coaching staff, we're bringing everybody back. Everybody's played the game professionally. Even our line coach, Coach Pinto. Coach Ja Valentine, he's been around the game for a while, D coordinator. Tony Shaw, he played back in the old days when the CIFL was out with the Lehigh Valley Outlaws. It's back in the day.
Okay.
But, everybody's been around the game and everybody understands, right? And everybody knows what it takes and what type of players it takes and what type of players you got to be, right, to win games. And that's why there's no reason for us to shake up, what we've been building, especially with the coaches, together. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty consistent with most staffs. Most staffs have played the game before, and you have your time on the field, and once you're done playing, you want to continue being in a part of the game. So that's how most coaching staffs are built. So I would agree that's pretty consistent. So we got pretty much the same group of guys coming back. So, hopefully we'll be able to, work well together as we always have and, create a good product.
Yeah. I definitely believe it helps when obviously guys move on. So certain opportunities come available they might want to take. But when you at least have, if not all, most of the same staff, everybody kind of understands what everybody does. We all have a specific role, but, maybe you also help out with this or that. And having those same guys that have always been part of that is very important to, consistency, development. Then you have guys that you may have had for a couple of years that kind of know those guys and understand, the way that different coaches approach things, how they talk to you, how they handle things. So, yeah, that consistency, I definitely would agree with both you gentlemen. It makes a big difference, when you're especially going into a new situation, right? Because everybody's coming into this together. There's nobody that was in this league last year. Everybody's new. So it's kind of like we're all coming together, kind of like parts of Voltron.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. All form Voltron.
I think y'all old enough to remember Voltron too. So, parts of Voltron just coming together. So, yeah, man. So I think this is going to be something that's going to get a lot of, notice, a lot of hype just because of the product itself, just because of, who's involved. And to me, that's better than, any drummed up hype where you can get it just because, okay, you've got these teams here. You got Columbus there. You got the Mississippi team that was good. That Bearcats team everybody's already talking about. And that Wheeling team. So you got teams that people are already talking about. People already know these teams even from other leagues. So, they're all going to be in this league together. So maybe we'll watch that. Then you get the trickle-down effect because you guys are playing AL2 teams. So, they get a chance and they say, oh, okay. And then the opposite side, AL2, they have a fan base. So those guys are going to see you guys playing some of their teams and say, well, maybe I want to check out this team too. So I love the partnership and the guys who planned and put it together. Definitely took time to think about what was going to be best, I think, for both leagues. That's huge to me because when you're kind of partnering with any other league in any way, you have to make sure that everything is beneficial for everyone involved. And I think the teams that are a part of this, you guys as coaches, as well as ownership and things, you kind of get what the long-term goal is, but you're also okay with, the short-term goal. So I like the understanding, the fact that you're a group of guys. We get it. We know what's happening. It's going to take some time to get to the point where we want to get to. But y'all are the AAL founders, really, at this point. You know what I'm saying? So that's an exciting piece.
The second coming, the AAL 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I dig it. So, gentlemen, any other thoughts that you guys have so far on your off seasons? What's going on? Moving to the point of getting to the, last tryouts, all that good stuff.
Just rounding out the schedule. Try to minimize, everything leading up to, camp and stuff. So, once you get closer, it's nothing but football.
Yeah.
I would love to have our thing rounded out by, if not after January 10th, before January's over.
Right.
Can move on and get all the uniforms and all that stupid stuff, together.
Yeah, the process, has been pretty smooth so far. So like I just said, I'm just looking forward to that last tryout, and hopefully I can round out, that training camp roster, and like you say, once we get a little bit closer, that's the fun part about it. We get to have to just play football and just worry about going out there and competing and trying to win games.
Yep.
Fair enough.
The part right now is the worst part of it all.
Yeah.
Dragging out.
Yeah. But once the new year hit, man, it's gonna roll around pretty fast. So yeah, it's gonna come up on us pretty quick. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Yep.
I definitely dig it, man. I definitely dig it. All right, so gentlemen, if you would please let the people know where they can find you guys at.
Of course, I'm on social media, man. Facebook, Damian Daniels. You can also contact me through my email, ddaniels@columbuslions.net, and also, on our website, columbuslions.com.
All right. Coach, okay?
You can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, AJ Roque, on Facebook. Instagram @CoachRoque1. On Instagram, you can check out the team on Facebook, Jersey Bearcats Arena Football, and then on Instagram, also at Jersey Bearcats, and then also on TikTok at Jersey Bearcats.
All right, perfect. Well, gentlemen, good luck with the season. We'll definitely be talking. Be very interesting to see. Once I get all the players that you feel like you have for now in place, what these rosters are going to look like, how the season's going to go.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. Good luck, gentlemen, and appreciate you guys' time.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
No problem. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of the owners from one of your wonderful AAL, American Arena League team, Roger Beck. So I'm going to give Roger the floor here, just kind of let him tell you, obviously, what team it is and a little bit about his experience, his journey, how he got to team ownership. And then we'll just get to know Roger a little bit. All right, Roger, the floor is yours, sir.
All right, sir. Well, I'm Roger Beck, and I'm the principal owner of the Columbus Lions. And been a high school football coach for 25 years, coach at Pacelli High School in Columbus, Georgia. And we had a change in our coaching staff, change of head coach, and Damian Daniels came on as our defensive coordinator, and everyone knows he's an arena legend and head coach of the Lions. And one of the players, Drell Green, actually coaches with us, and one of our assistant coaches, Cole Picard. So we all coach together at the high school.
Okay.
And lo and behold, I have some businesses up in the Wheeling, West Virginia area.
Mm-hmm.
And told Damien, I said, man, when y'all play, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to come to the game. So I came to the game, loved what I saw, got hooked, very impressed with Damien, the way he runs the show. And just so happened later, in the summer, we're in our season, having a good season at the high school. And the majority owner of the Lions decided he wanted to step back and take a much lesser role. And he was looking for some partners or someone to come in and take over ownership. And Damien told him, well, I think I just may have your guy. And so, Damien and I talked. He introduced me to the guy, and everything just fell into place. It's a great fit for me. I'm a community guy. I've been here all my life, basically. The team's been around for 20 years, which in arena football, I have come to find out is like being from the Old Testament. It's been around a long time.
It's been 84 years.
So, and Damien, my first question was, Damien, are you going to stay on? You going to ride this with me? And he assured me he was. And our old athletic director at the high school, he's the head of school somewhere else now, but I called him and asked him if he would come in as the general manager, and he agreed to do it. So we've got a great team in place where we've all worked together before, and we've done good things. We won a state championship. We completely revamped our high school, and we want to do the same things in the Arena League. And AJ's been great to work with, and I like the direction the league's going in, and just looking for bigger and better things every year. And that's kind of my story.
That's cool. I like how it kind of, I won't necessarily say fell in your lap, but kind of just came in place at the right time, right? Because that's life, right? Opportunity, and you being prepared for that opportunity and able to capitalize on it. So, yeah, it sounds like you guys are set up. You got a lot of people around you that you know and trust, which is always important, in any venture. So, yeah, sounds like you guys are going to be a team to watch out for some years to come.
Well, we certainly hope so. They've got a good winning history.
Yeah.
And we hope to do more of the same. They were in the playoffs last year, and weird story, our kicker was from Australia,
mm-hmm.
and his visa ran out, and he had to go back to Australia. And so we didn't have a kicker, and in the rules of the league we were in at that time, we really couldn't bring anybody in. And, struggled with the kicking game in the playoffs, and that hurt us. But, such is life.
Right. Yeah, so one of the things that I've noticed that you do a great job of promoting the Lions, right? Columbus Lions, a lot of people are aware of the team, aware of the brand. So tell me a little bit about your marketing strategy. Don't want any detailed tips, but just what you feel comfortable sharing.
Well, no, I don't mind sharing anything. I want us all to be successful. It's not like you're my direct competitor in my city. If you were, I
Right.
wouldn't tell you, I wouldn't tell you doo-doo. But, I come from a background. I'm in the car wash business, believe it or not. And any of you that know what an express car wash is, I built the first one of those in the United States. And I've operated over 100 locations from time to time, and I'm still in it. Still have over 20. But anyway, a lot of the same things. You got to market. You got to make people want to come back. You know, uh, Marketing's everything. I'm doing a lot of the same things that I've done in my business. We're out in the community. We're going to be involved with all the schools. I do a lot of billboards. I really like billboards. Everybody's in the car. They see it all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a mascot, and most of the time the mascots are part-time. Well, I've hired our mascot. Uh, he's a full-time employee now. He's 40 hours a week, every week, whatever. He's going to be out in the community. We're going to try to have him somewhere every day. He's been out at the Salvation Army. We gave away, Christmas to 400 families. We did another event in Phoenix City. I think they gave away 200 bicycles and a bunch of other toys. And I'm on the board of the Salvation Army here. And, we've been out at the kettles ringing the bell and giving away footballs and T-shirts. And, we're putting a commercial on television tomorrow that's going to run through New Year's for Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that good stuff. And we're definitely going to be front and center.
Yeah, I like the approach because it brings eyes, it brings notoriety to what you're doing. It helps the team. It also helps the league because then people will know, well, where do they play at? Okay, we see this team everywhere, but who are they? Where do they play at? So it kind of helps you guys, first and foremost, but then can kind of trickle down and help the other teams as well. So yeah, your approach is it's well known. Let's say that you can see it. So I love to hear it. It's always good to get an amount of people who think about certain specific pieces. Like marketing is a big piece, right? And like you said, you don't just go and do billboards and things. You also do things in the community. You help people. You do these other things. So there's not just, oh, he's just got billboards. He's got this. They help people. You help the community. It helps that you're from the community because you have that connection with the community. So yeah, I dig what you're doing, man. I dig what you're doing. So tell me about how the team's looking so far from what you've been able to ascertain for this coming season.
I think we're going to be good. We're, putting pieces of the puzzle together. We've got a tryout on January the 15th, going to get a look at some more players. And we've really, upped our game on our website and our social media and all. And we're getting requests from all over the country from players sending us film and wanting to be a part of it. And, we really want to make this a place. So, if any of you are basketball fans, everybody knows about the San Antonio Spurs, and it's a place where players like to go play. Like they've had players come in that actually took a pay cut to come in and play just because they wanted to be a part of the organization. And we want to get to that. We want to, hey, Columbus treats us right. We're going to travel right. We're going to eat right. All that sort of things. We're going to be in the community. We're going to have a good fan base. I want it to be, well, hey, man, if somebody comes and plays here, I want them talking good about us if they move up or, have to relocate geographically or something. I want everybody to say, man, we had a great experience with the Lions.
Yeah. Those are things that are definitely important. I feel like when you're in ownership, like you're looking at the big picture. I want everybody to enjoy the organization. I want the community to enjoy the organization. I want to be something that when people talk about the Lions and talk about ownership, they say, man, that organization, they're good on the field, but they also do a lot of other things. They care about the community, they care about their players. Like you said, it's self-advertisement, right? That's other people going out and saying, hey, Columbus is somewhere you might want to check out if you're looking for, this level. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're going to end up going back to that level, Columbus may be somewhere you want to look at because of, what's there, how they treat the players, how they treat the community, how they care. And not that other teams don't as well, but their word of mouth, carries a lot because that's what people kind of are waiting for, listening for, and wanting to hear, especially nowadays,
That's right. These guys aren't making millions of dollars, and a lot of them are playing for the love of the game. And they're taking time away from home and in careers. And yes, some of them move up, and we hope a lot of them move up. We had a lineman last year that he just signed with Winnipeg in the CFL. So that makes us all proud, and that's what we want to see. And hopefully some of these guys, some of these AAL2 teams, hopefully they move up.
Yeah.
Just want to make it better. And the biggest thing is put a good product on the field.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in it because we love football, but we're in the entertainment business, guys. If we can't just roll out a football and play football and get people, we got to entertain them while they're there.
Oh yeah.
You got to have a lot of things going on in the stands, giveaways, contests, a good halftime show, bands. All that atmosphere, makes it a great place.
Yeah, that total experience does make a difference. I was able to go to a couple of different games last year for AL2, and you could see the difference between, some stadiums that kind of had some of those extra things and some of the ones that just weren't at that point yet. And the ones that kind of had at least some of those things and the ones that had all of you kind of like, yeah, this is somewhere that I would say like, hey, it's off season, you're a football fan. Hey, come check out AL2. These are good leagues, man. They got good things. They got a lot of things going on, things for the kids. It's just a fun experience. And that's a big part of, I think, the showmanship, right? That's important, especially for you, as an owner or someone that's like a general manager on the business side. That's very important because the showmanship is what helps get people to come and stay. Because anybody can just come one time and say, nah, that's not my thing. But when you can get people to come and want to come back because of the complete experience, I feel like, the job is being done properly.
Yeah, if you can't get the mothers and the kids in the stands, you're going to have problems.
This is very true. This is very true. That's very true. So anything new and exciting you guys got coming out that you feel like sharing right now with Columbus?
Okay, well, so we're going to have a draft here in Columbus. The AAL is going to have a draft. We're going to make a big presentation out of it. We're going to do it first rate. All the teams are going to come in. I didn't tell you this earlier, my background. I built an indoor facility for the high school here. Mm-hmm. And, we have conference rooms, a big meeting room, a big, players lounge area, student lounge. So we're going to have the first AAL draft. We're all going to be here. We're going to reach out. We're going to let players that are going to potentially be drafted know what's going on, so that when we call them, we can get them, involved on the draft show. And I don't remember how many rounds or how many players. What are we going to get, AJ? 4 or 5 players apiece?
I think we talked about 4 or 5 rounds. So 4 or 5 guys each team from the AL2. So you don't want to mistake that for people listening, thinking it's going to be 4 or 5 guys from each team. So, it's 4 or 5 guys. Basically, you're talking about if it's 5 guys a team, 20 guys from the entire AAL.
Right.
AAL2.
From the AAL2.
So
that could be from any team. So, it could be 20 people from one team, but maybe with Coach Menas out there in Michigan, possibly everybody gets players from there. But I just think it shows that we care about the development of the guys in the AL2, right, and giving them a shot to move up, from within. Basically it's kind of like the baseball, like the farm system. You got your single A, double A, triple A.
Yep.
Right. And the more you develop, right, your better chances are moving up.
And
Right.
we're also, we're trying to work a deal. We got a pretty good deal going now that hopefully everybody's going to have huddle. And that way we're all going to be able to get film. We're going to be able to evaluate each other. We're going to be able to see these guys play. And, it's like Damian said earlier, when you have the coaches on, even AJ's a high school guy too. Sometimes you'll play that team that's, 0-6 or 1-9 or whatever, and they've got a kid over there that can bring it.
Yeah.
So there's always players out there you'd like to have, and I think this draft is going to open that up for all of us to get some real talent, and to give these AAL2 guys a way to showcase their talent,
Right.
and have a little better chance of moving up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it. Making sure and actually people seeing that the league actually cares about the development of the AAL2 guys.
And we do.
Right.
It's you got to have football players.
Yep.
You got to have the Pee Wee guys going to middle school, and the middle school going to high school, and the high school going.
Yep. And then what does that do? That now more players and more talented players now want to get into the AL2 because now they want to have a shot at it. So now the AL2 automatically is going to become more, competitive because of that. So, it's going to help out everyone.
I dig it, man. And just because I'm a cheap plug guy, one of the places that you can see that draft would be on Shady Sports Network. Yeah, guys, that's awesome, man. I know we had kind of heard some things, but it's great to finally know that that's solidified in stone. Everything's going to happen.
Well, and we had the head of officials on earlier, and something else we had talked about was doing some officials clinics.
Yep.
Around in the different cities. Because I'm new to this. AJ's been around it forever, so has Damian. But I'm asking both of these guys, okay, where are we getting our officials? Well, I'd say 99% of your officials are coming from the 11-man game.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a guy that has a lot of arena experience, and especially with the different arena leagues having different rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's going to know what's going on, and it'd be a great jump start to have somebody come in and work with all, because you're going to have to use local officials. We all know that.
Right.
For the most part, and it'd be nice if somebody could come in and coach them up. Mm-hmm. Before the season, and that's something AJ's done a great job getting this head of officials involved, and that I really think that's going to separate us from some other leagues.
Yeah, once we get all the officials on one level in the AL and AL2, I mean, it just makes our job easier.
Right.
And it certainly makes it easier for those officials too. I mean, you couldn't give me a winning lottery ticket to be a damn official. Those guys just, they just get hammered. They really do. I mean, you see it in every Sunday, every Saturday. But the more tools you can give them to succeed, definitely the better. And that's what we're hoping to do, with the, having a little better, having the huddle and the iPads for everyone where they can have instant replay a little better and help you want to help the officials.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the biggest thing too with, everybody being able to have video is when we're, in these clinics, the referees, you're able to show, another group what happened, from another game, so everybody can understand, what to expect or how to approach that situation or, that call or penalty, in that game. It makes the game go by smoother, especially on the refs. Because listen, we're all going to be in the refs' ear screaming at them, right? But the more and more they see the game and see things that happen in other games that they didn't see in theirs, it helps them prepare for it. I just think it's a great move altogether.
Oh yeah, and it centralizes so people don't feel like, oh, this person's this person's we got one person. This is what they handle. So things that go with that, you've got a specific person to talk to,
right?
And then issues with calls. Maybe a call wasn't made based on the trained understanding. That's a moment to go back and say, hey guys, this is what we're looking for, and something that can be fixed versus just kind of going with the flow, so to speak, because that's just what you have to do at that time.
Yep.
No, and there's someone that they can reach out to, even if it's the day after a game. Okay, well, we had this situation arise, and we think we handled it properly, but may not have. As coaches, we all talk to each other. Hey, what'd you do? How'd you handle this situation, or how do you block this particular defense, or where's your receiver going on this play? That sort of thing. Well, it'd be nice if the officials had that same opportunity, and that I think that's what AJ's vision is moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. That Monday or Tuesday, all the white hats from each crew will be on a call.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. Well, that's a big piece of news. So, guys, if you're watching this, it's going to be an actual draft. You're going to get to kind of see some footage from the war rooms, hopefully. You get a chance to kind of see these guys maneuver, how they make their picks, what they decide. You'll get information on those players. And, of course, your boy is going to be part of it. So we'll be talking about the players and have some of the guys on that'll be rounding out the group, and good information. It'll be a great experience. So I definitely would urge you to definitely be part of it because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good experience. Everything that we do with the American Arena League and AAL2, it's about having fun. It's about, just helping the league grow and also just enjoying football, right? Because we're all football lovers. That's how we got here, right? If we don't love football, why are we part of something that's football related? So, yeah, it just depends on what level you're on and all those things, but we're all football lovers. That's why we're here. So I'm sure a lot of you good people are too. So little cat's out the bag now, guys, so y'all can start preparing for that and get ready. There'll be more information about it coming out, so definitely make sure you're tuning into the episodes to get that information.
And that's going to be April 19th. I'm not sure if we said that.
I'm not sure either, but we have now. It's April 19th, guys. So if we didn't say that before, it's April 19th. If we did, we just reminded you again, in case you forgot.
Going to be able to see the AL2 guys 2 weeks of game film, April 11th and April 18th. And then that's why the draft is the 19th. So be able to evaluate, 2 weeks worth.
Yeah, we'll all have a lot to do that weekend. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the week leading up, because most of us play that week. So,
yeah. Yep. Exhibition. Yep. Our games. Yep. Can't wait. It's so much cool stuff, man. And it's the beginning, right? It's just this is the foundation of it all. So I'm excited to where it's going to go, where it's going.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, we're all really excited to the direction we're headed in.
Yeah, it's great potential here, guys. It's something we're all getting a chance to kind of hop in on early and see it grow. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Yep.
I feel like it's a solid group of coaches that I've met. I've had a chance to meet or talk to. It's been a really good group. So when you've got good quality people from the top down, it's hard not to be successful.
Yes.
It's just hard not to be.
It's very hard to find people, especially in the indoor world, that doesn't have egos. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Oh, hell, that's
what we have here is there's no egos, right? I'm sure on the football field, right? But off of it, there's no egos. And I think that's
we all want everyone to succeed. Yeah,
exactly.
we want every team to be successful.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
And that's something AJ and I have talked about, a pretty good bit is, we want teams coming into the league that can survive.
Yes.
We don't want to, it's like I was telling my business background. Sometimes I can have a really good employee, and if I give them a promotion, I've turned that really good employee, I've put them into a situation they can't handle.
Right.
And
Right.
you have to be aware of that, and then you end up losing them where they probably never should have. We just got to figure that out with teams is, we got, as a league, we got to do our best if we bring people up or whatever, that we bring people in that we think can be successful. And AJ does a great job of, letting everybody know what's expected. And if it's a new guy, he talks to them at length about, okay, this is what you need to have in order to be able to make it. And, that's it. We want everybody to succeed.
Yeah, we've been on calls with people that, unfortunately they couldn't make it. They gave us stories.
Yeah.
They were not right. But, it just goes starting off simple conversations, starting from there and actually going to follow up what people say. And, you come to find out that, it's not what they say.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not going to call any names out, but we had one that, oh man, I've got 4 teams.
Yeah.
I've got arenas, I've got teams, I've got everything. And, we would have found Bigfoot before we found the arenas he was going to play in.
Well, down here in the South, I'm in the South, we say about things like that just ain't all peaches and cream.
No, hell no. No, AJ started checking, and it was like, it sounded good at first, didn't it, AJ?
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people can talk.
Real fast.
You gotta be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta be able to back it up.
Yeah, I had a brand new car, but it didn't have any tires or a motor.
Or gas.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Yeah,
oil.
but it was leaking.
That's a tough situation. Definitely a tough situation.
So, but yeah, all right. Yeah, no, we got some other things coming, some pretty cool things, entertainment wise, but that'll be something else for down the road in the new year. That we'll put out there.
Yeah, Beyonce is going to be at the championship.
There you go.
They'll sell tickets.
I was just getting ready to say that. That'll be sold out tomorrow.
Now, it may not be Beyonce Knowles, but Beyonce going to be there. Yeah. It may be Beyonce Jones, but she going to be there.
Not much more to say after that. So,
No.
Roger, definitely good to meet you, man. I think you're going to definitely be a good positive force for the league in ownership role.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, you usually find me on the wall in the post office. But if I'm not in there, no, you can find us at the Columbus. You can get us on the Columbus Lines. We're on Facebook. We have a website, columbuslines.com. Instagram, we're on that. I don't really know how to do that, but if you want to reach out to me, it's just as simple as Roger Beck at columbuslines.com. So, or you can just Google Roger Beck and you can probably find me.
Fair enough. Well, good luck to Columbus this year, man. Definitely we'll be having some conversations.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
All right. See y'all.
Coach Rez, what's going on, sir?
What's up, my man?
Nothing much, man. I'm glad to see you were able to hop in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, AJ hit me earlier about it, so I made some time to jump on.
I definitely appreciate it, man. So you're the first one that gets to react. How are you feeling about knowing that the draft is official and it's going to be happening?
I think it's different. I think it's cool. I'm always for anything that gives opportunities for the players. That's what it's all about. So, anything we can do to create opportunities for guys, especially what the league's doing for the rosters and to allow us to carry some extra guys, being AAL2 guys, and if we kept 4, 2 of them could play, for instance. So, stuff like that's pretty cool to be able to give them opportunities that they might not have had.
Oh yeah. And then it's great because the opposite happens, and you have a guy that gets signed to a higher league. That you have some guys. Lost him, didn't really want to lose him, but happy he's getting an opportunity. Now I got some more guys I can kind of bring in and hopefully can fill that role. So, I definitely heard about it. Wanted to make sure everything was that it was definitely happening first. But yeah. I think it's a really great thing, like you said, for all the reasons that you said, and then just anything that you can do to kind of pump the league out. Because like I was telling the other coaches when we were talking earlier, you guys are really the pillars, right? Like you got ownership and stuff, but you're the guys that everybody sees on a regular basis. So you guys, being out there, being able to be part of all these different things, that's just going to make this product, better. And you guys are the AAL 2.0, founding fathers, pretty much. So yeah,
for sure. And then it'd be cool. All goes well with this, and could probably even take it a step further. And as we grow and start adding some of the AAL2 teams as actual like feeder teams to their home respective team, so to speak, in their region, and there's a lot of cool things that we can spin from it. So a lot of good things coming up for sure.
Yeah, because it's the starting point, but like I was saying earlier, those guys, starting point, but definitely not the end point. But it's good to be kind of there in the beginning because then you get to see everything, right? You get to help everything grow, and then opportunities. You get to see guys take opportunities. You get to learn a lot more too when you're kind of on ground zero because it's just more that needs to be done. So everybody kind of does a little bit extra, to make sure everything is moving smoothly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
we'll see how it goes. So we're looking forward to it. It'll be a good, weekend before everything kicks off, and so we'll see how it goes.
Yep, and you guys will get to see 2 games of game film from the guys before the draft. So one of the things that I asked before, I want to make sure to try to get everybody up on willing as well, right? Any signings or anything that you are able to kind of talk about?
No signings right now. I'm talking to quite a few players. We got some people that we're going to be signing. Really focusing on hammer it down towards this end of the year, going into the new year, and start announcing some players and really start creating some buzz, leading up to the season and whatnot, and really focusing right now on getting everything set up and established, and on the business side, and getting a lot of our partners back on board, and gaining new business, which is always good to keep growing each year. And we're going into our 3rd year, so things are looking pretty good for us, and excited to see how our fan base is growing, and the fans are excited with what we're doing, and with our schedule that's out for this year. Our fans are looking forward to all the opportunities to come see us and be a part of the entertainment aspect of what we got going on, and all the cool things that we're adding this year that we hadn't had. And so we're looking forward to it, and I know the fans are too.
Yeah, it's great when you have a good fan base, you have a good product, and then you have those other showmanship pieces too, right? Because it kind of, if you can put it all together, then you're going to have loyal fans, you're going to get new fans, and it's just going to make the overall experience, better for everyone, whether it's a first-time person or someone that's, seen the product many times.
For sure. And for me personally, being able to focus on a lot more, part of my agreement of coming back was, I needed to let go of some of this stuff because I did everything. So it was important for us to bring on some more people to help with the front office and different things like that. And our majority owner, our managing partner, Chris Duffy, is our acting GM. And he's, I think it was big for him to actually be involved, with what we're doing. A lot of the teams that are successful, like your Omahas and stuff like that, like the ownership's involved with what's going on.
Yeah.
Ricky is Omaha, right? So getting your owners involved to do those type things makes it easier for guys like myself that do the business as well. But, I want to focus more on coaching. I'm a coach first and foremost. So being able to get that back, and we had a lot of moving parts last year, in the NAL, and injuries didn't help. And with everything else we got going on, I wanted to step back, really figure out what I was going to do. And coming back to Wheeling, I helped start Wheeling. So it was only fitting for me to be there and be back there. And with what we got going on with the league now, with what AJ's doing. And, I'm excited to see where that goes. Cause I'd like to see it back to where it used to be back when I played and when AJ played in those days in the AIFA, AIFL. It was really good football. I mean, I think we were at one point even up to 20 some teams all up and down the East Coast and to the Midwest, and it was great competition. It was like AF2 basically, and I think a lot of it's just gotten away from that. Now the IFL is the top dog, and I really believe that they'll be what the AFL used to be. They're growing towards that. So for what we're trying to do from a regional standpoint and create the travel that benefits the teams and the ownerships and whatnot, and really get solid, groups in, we don't need 20 teams to be successful, right? We're at 4 now. We're going to have a really good season. I'm not worried about any of the 4 teams folding.
Right.
That's always an issue. Yeah. So with what we're doing, if we add 2 more next year and then 2 and we get to 10 at some point, that's solid, right? And it's all going to be all in traveling distance. And from a business perspective, that's where a lot of it's gotten away from. All the alphabet leagues that's out there, everyone thinks that things are going to be one way or the other. But if you've got teams traveling all over the country, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, I love the way everything's set up logistically. Like you guys are doing a good job of doing things that make sense. We've got teams in the area. If we want to do another area, okay, but we need to have enough teams there so it supports making sense. And still have that area not be so far away from where you guys are at that creates a problem with travel. So there's a lot of things that I see, from AL2 last year and then from AL this year that makes so much sense that I think it's so logical that some people don't even think about it.
Well, it's like the AAL2. For us, when we started our first year, we were in the AAL2. So it was a great momentum builder for us, going into what we wanted to do. Saying that, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some AAL2 teams currently that will eventually transition and maybe become an AAL member from the AAL2. So they're building their base and they're building their business and they're building their structure for their team business because a lot of coaches that are owners that run their team, they're not in the business side of it like that. They're focused on what can I do for putting my product on the field and, what can we do football wise, but you're missing the whole picture of what you're actually trying to establish. Because we can win as many games as we want to, but if the business isn't sound, you're not going to be around very long. I know plenty of teams that won championships and have folded the next year because their business wasn't right. It happens all the time. And so the structure that we have, it's almost like AAL2 is the developmental league, but it's also the developmental from the whole aspect. It's easy for a team to get established, and you're really going to determine then, can I scale this, or is this something that we're just going to be, be content with being an AAL2 team and just help develop players, give them a platform, and help them move on to somewhere else. Because there's nothing wrong with that as needed. I mean, you look at the NFL; it's the same concept. Their development isn't what it used to be. When the NFL had the NFL Europe, that was the whole player dynamic was different then. And so just the development of players is, what's lacking right now. And, hopefully with what we're bridging with the AAL and AAL2, we're eliminating all that and helping bridge that success.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just so many things, happening. Obviously there's more things that, aren't solidified yet or anything, but there's a lot of great things that we know about so far that's happening. And the thing that I like, and it's the same thing in AAL, so I'm not surprised. It's the same thing with AAL too. The quality of, organizations is very important because, like you said, anybody can kind of get a team together, win some games, get good players.
Well, perfect example. Look at Michigan with Coach Manas going there, right? It's the same situation where you don't think he's going to try to help them build to be on a bigger stage than what they're on. Of course, and he has that ability to do that at home and be with an owner that he knows. And I don't know all the logistics and all that from that, but for what they're trying to build, I wouldn't be shocked to see Manas and his Michigan team in the AAL, next year. So you never know. That's just the way everything's set up, and it'll be exciting to see how it all plays out for sure.
Oh yeah, it really will, man. This is like a little early because we're still in December, but we're almost January, and then kind of once you hit like January, mid-January, things start picking up. So it's exciting just to see, like, from now until games get ready to start, training camps, all those things. It's like, man, it's going to fly by so fast. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we'll be getting ready for camp here before you know it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So for me, though, it's been a good off season overall.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot of different projects, doing a lot of stuff with the family. So it's been good. Good recharge, so to speak. And, we get back after. You got a good coaching staff put together, and I got my guy, everything that we've been working on with a good friend of mine, Coach Porter. We played high school football together back in California. He lives in Wheeling, so it's pretty cool to be able to continue football at this late stage of our life together. Being high school teammates. Our DC that's coming back, he's taking a new college coaching role with a new team as a defensive coordinator. So to be able to have Coach Mott coming back with us with the team is always great. And, he's excited. It gives him something else to look forward to in the off season of college football, and keep as a coach, you want to keep coaching. I coach high school football as well. So, pretty much coaching year round. So it's exciting to keep doing what we love to do and help as many players as possible. I enjoy coaching high school, just helping as many kids as I can get to college. And I've been fortunate to have 8 of them come back and play arena football after they got done playing college football. So that's always pretty cool. A lot of those things are more exciting to me than, winning championships, and winning championships are cool. Don't get me wrong, but we're trying to help change lives too at the same time. And everyone don't really see it like that until you actually get involved with a program, an organization that cares. Like Coach Damien with Columbus, they've been around a long time. They've had a lot of players come through there, and that's what you're trying to establish. That's what we want to carry on in Wheeling for years to come. So it's always great just to be active and give guys opportunities to keep doing what they do.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've had a chance to kind of step back from some of the other things and be able to focus more on the football aspects of, Wheeling. So I'm sure that makes you feel good, right? Because you're coaching for a reason. You want to coach. So. Oh,
for sure. Yeah, and being back calling plays again, running the offense, so I know everyone's excited about that. I'm sure a lot of people missed me calling the offense last year, but the business came first for me. So sometimes you got to make sacrifices, to try to make the organization better. And sometimes things might falter on one end, but things are getting better on the other end. So, obviously something was done right, because here we are going into our third year. So with a lot of momentum, climbing and growing, and we're growing every day, every week. So I am excited to be back on the field, though. And I know my other coaches and Coach Mott's excited to have my energy back with him and whatnot. So I know the players will enjoy it too.
Yeah. You actually took my last question. I was going to ask you, were you able to retain most of the staff, or, did you have to go out and kind of work on new staff? But you've kind of already answered that. So you need to really ask the question you've already answered. So
yeah, we got a tight knit group. Our O-line coach is a former college coach, former old head AFL player. And he actually coached Coach Porter in college, and when he was at JUCO at American River College in California. So to kind of have that come full circle for all of us, and really have good people involved, is, you want people around too that you're going to enjoy to be around. You guys are going to be with each other a lot, and to have them, and with Coach Porter coaching the D line, and I actually just brought on a offensive assistant to come assist and have him get some experience, and with Coach Hobby, who was actually with Duluth last year there in Minnesota. He's a former player as well, and so excited to get him involved. And some of my coaches last year, I'm really good friends with the Lyota, Sean and Jeremy. Now they're in the Michigan AF1 team. So it's always good to build a network, and you never want to burn bridges, because you never know when it's going to come back around. And so that's always good to just to keep at it, man. And we're excited with what we're building, and I'm sure by the next time we have this comes back around, a podcast where the coaches are on again, I'll be able to talk about some players, and we're working on that, and making a big push at it. I got my director of player personnel working behind the scenes. Everyone knows Ben with the program. So he's been a good supporter of mine, and this will be his third year with us in Wheeling. And so we're excited all around with what we got going on.
All right. Perfect, man. Well, it sounds like you guys are right on par with the other teams. Everything's smooth sailing right now, which is always a good thing. So Coach Riz, if you would, just let the people know where they can find you. And if you want to give the team information as well, feel free to do so.
Yep. So, our team website is gowvminers.com. We're on all social media platforms, Wheeling Miners. I myself, not really huge on social media. I'm still stuck on Facebook, but I am on Instagram and X, and but that's about as far as it goes. Of course, just Coach Rez, or my Josh Resignalo is my name, that you can find me on social media. And players are hitting us up all the time, and it's always good to pass names around and helping as many as we can, moving them to other people and other teams, and just passing names around, and we might not have a spot for them. So saying that, don't ever hesitate sending your information to a coach, because he might pass it on to someone else. So that's how you can get a hold of us, and we're looking forward to the season.
A little free game for everybody out there. We appreciate you, Coach Rez, and good luck on the season. And as you said, we'll be talking again, have some information on maybe some guys that you'll have ready to talk about by then.
Sounds good. I appreciate you.
No problem, man. You have a good night.
You too.
You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast.
Can I run up the score? Run up the board, breaking the mold. Hey, hey, walking the door. You know what happened? We step on the floor. Hey, hey, coming from on. You don't want problems, you already know it. Hey, hey, come on to it. You already know it.